$1 billion. Do I have 1 million? Is this 1 million? No, it's 1 billion, silly. Not the $1 billion. That's funny. That's why it's called faith. Well, no billion for you. If you just say it's just faith, then you have missed out on the opportunity of $1 billion. Prove you have $1 billion first. Just have faith, Raw. Just have faith. It should be happening now, my YouTube people. I have no requests. No one wants the chance to be a billionaire, hang out with the greats, with the Justin Biebers and the Taylor Swifts. Is Taylor Swift? They're not billionaires. I'm guessing Taylor Swift will become a billionaire. Okay, Andrew. Do you accept libertarian free will? No, I don't. Prove you have $1 billion. Just have faith, real. Just have faith that I have $1 billion. Yeah, I'm alive. All these people are missing out on a chance for $1 billion, though. I have 300 people watching me and not one request. Why does this always happen to me? I'm so jealous of these other people that have all these requests. Oh, yeah. What do I think of hylomorphism? I haven't really evaluated it. That's Aristotle's deal. My my knowledge of ancient philosophy is very disappointing. I have a request. Okay, here we go. Request isn't any good though. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah. Why do you believe in God, or do you have any arguments for the existence of God?
Yeah. Everything has to have a creator.
Everything?
Yeah.
Does that include God?
No, because that would result in an infinite regress.
No, it's not even.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think God exists outside of like the constraints of space and time. So that's like the biggest differentiator between my argument and the atheist argument, right?
Wait, but you said everything. So
I misspoke.
Okay, what did you mean? Everything but God?
Yes.
Why would I accept that principle?
Because God is outside space and time.
Why would that matter?
He's not constrained by the rules of nature and like the laws of physics and stuff.
Yeah, and
he would have to bypass. He would bypass those rules.
What rules make? You're saying God is an exception to your rule that everything has to have a creator, and you're appealing to God's immateriality or whatever for why that's an exception. And I don't see why it would be a legitimate exception.
I mean, through my subjective experience, everything points to him as well. But back to that, I just feel like. So where's the alternative? The alternative is that it was just there. Do you believe that?
I don't really take a strong position. Oh, are you talking about the universe, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, the universe. The universe, the Big Bang, the expansion.
I don't have any set position on that question, whether the universe has always existed, whether it had a cause, whether it began to exist but didn't have a cause. I don't really have a position.
True. So
I guess know that it's not God, right? As construed by.
How can you say that if you don't have a position?
Well, look, just because you don't know something, you could not know what explains something, but rule out certain explanations, right? So, like, if you don't
not necessarily.
Okay, have you ever lost something?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever lost your keys before? I have.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, so at the point where you lost them, you don't know what explains why you lost them or where they are. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you're entertaining key stealing fairies, right? You can rule that out, right?
Not necessarily. Like the devil could have keys, stealing demons and steal keys just to ruin my day because I don't believe in God.
I can hear your smile.
Well, how can you hear a smile?
Everyone heard it. Everyone heard
No,
it.
but
You're literally saying that when you lose your shit, like keys.
I'm saying it's a possibility.
Okay, but you can rule out the possibility, right? You're not seriously going to
rule
consider.
Out a possibility.
Are you telling me the next time you lose your keys, you're going to be like, I gotta. It could be the fairies that did it, right? Is that what you're going to do? Otherwise,
no, that's not what I'm gonna do. But I'm not gonna say it's not impossible. No.
The point is that are you going to take it serious? You can say so. Do you think that every time you lose something, it could be Zeus or it could be a law from or I mean, are you just going to entertain all these hypotheses?
No, because those are ridiculous notions of religions.
Okay, so right, I think Christianity is ridiculous. If you're a Christian, I'm assuming you are.
No.
Okay, I think theism is ridiculous. There you go.
I don't know. I mean, I can't think. I don't think it's out there like. I
think it's very out
there. Sure. If one specific God is wrong, but
Well, look, you're missing the point. The point is that you could not know what explains XYZ and rule out certain views, right? You can rule out that it was Odin. You can rule out that it was Captain Marvel. You can rule out that it was there's a new show that I like. It's called Invincible. What are those like that planet that like takes over other planets? It starts with a V. Anyway, it's a great show. Recommended. Anyway, the point that you can rule out explanation. I've ruled out theism as an explanation, but even though I don't know.
True. Now, when you say theism, you mean like any higher power?
No, I mean like an all-powerful, all-good, all-knowing creator being, some disembodied mind, something like that.
Interesting.
Are you?
I've never heard this view before.
You never heard? So you must be. You are you just a theist? Like, what do you believe?
I believe in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
You don't believe your Lord and Savior is God?
No, I believe. I believe I believe in the Trinity.
Yeah, is Jesus God?
Yeah.
Okay, and that means that God is like all powerful, all good, all knowing, or at least maximally those things.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, so why you're acting like you've never heard this before?
Yeah, no, I've never really encountered an atheist.
This guy, are you real? Are you a real person?
How can you hear a smile?
You see right here, like I mean, you can hear it, right? Like when you smile, it changes the way you talk.
No, I'm not aware of that.
All right. Thanks for coming on. My goodness. Hey, Michael. Michael.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about? You want to prove that God exists?
Hey, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. Oh my gosh, apparently not. You have bad connection issues. I'm just going to go on the next person. People are telling me to prove that I have $1 million, guys. Just have faith. Just have faith that I have $1 billion or whatever it is.
How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I'm doing just good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. You want to prove that God exists for a chance at $1 billion?
I have faith that you have $1 billion.
There you go.
So, you were talking a little bit about the science behind it, and I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I'm not going to try to prove to you the Christian God. I'm not going to try to prove to you the Norse gods or the Hindu gods, any of that. The first part, you have to believe that or higher super intellect exists in order to believe that the Christian God is real or the Muslim Allah is real or any of that, right?
Sure.
Okay. So, whenever it comes down to the science, whatnot, a lot of people have this thought in their mind that it has to be one or the other, that science, is truth or God is truth. But I don't believe it has to be that. I believe that we can find truth within the science that has signs of intelligent design. So, we have a group of people who will just flat out deny everything that science has shown us in the last 500 years, and that's just extremely ignorant.
Okay, I'm waiting for the argument, though.
Okay, so have you ever heard of the physical constants in the universe?
Yeah.
So can you explain that to me real quick?
Well,
So we're on the same page.
you want me to define what a physical constant is?
The 30 physical constants in the universe.
Okay, you want me to list them? What do you want me to do? I know what they are. I know what a physical constant is some kind of value of let's say a force or a variable that doesn't change. So like the speed of light might be an example, but I'm not so sure if it's, we can assume that it is at least. I'm not a physics guy.
Right. So the physical constants are 30 numbers within the universe that are constant and unchanging throughout the entire universe. They go from the weight and mass of a proton and the weight and mass of a neutron down to like the force of gravity. This number never changes throughout the universe, right? So if you wanted to be if you were a super intellect and you wanted to bring a physical universe into the universe, into existence, you would need to create the things that everything is made out of and then make it into a rational form, or else science. Now, if any of these numbers are wrong or change in any capacity, life as we know it would not exist. So, for example, if gravity was just a little bit stronger or a little bit higher or a little bit weaker, our stars in the universe would not be able to get hot enough or cold enough to produce helium and hydrogen that are.
Okay, let's say all of this is true. But what does it have to do with God? Okay, so I'm granting all your physics. So I don't think that you get therefore God though.
So again, if any of these were off, we would not exist. So
okay.
What are the chances that all 30 of these numbers are just right for life to exist?
Let's say it's such a small chance, it's inconceivable. But what's the chance that God would institute those set of constants to preserve life, especially considering that it doesn't even need to? What are the chances of that?
I would personally say that it's a 50-50 shot.
Why would you think that?
So Oxford mathematician, I believe his name is Rogers Primrose, he was quoted as talking about this. He said that the chances of all these numbers coming to existence naturally is about 1 in 100,000.
Yeah, I'm granting that, but now I want the probability of an all-powerful, all-good, all-knowing, disembodied mind instituting those kind of values. What's the probability there? Is it greater or higher?
Personally, I would say it's higher. However,
I'm not interested in your personal view. I'm interested in the fact of the matter.
The fact of the matter is it would be a 50-50 shot.
Why would anyone accept that?
Well, why wouldn't you accept that?
Look, the point is that you say you have the probability of a naturalistic explanation. It's abysmally low, fine. But you have no idea what the probability is for God doing it, so how can you compare the probabilities?
Well, again, I would say it's higher than 50% considering other factors.
Why would everyone believe that?
Because the world around us is extremely complicated. That some of these things could not just occur naturally without some kind of external
You're
force.
saying it's impossible. No, you didn't. Your earlier claim wasn't that it was impossible. It was that extremely improbable, right? So on your view, it's a possibility, right?
Again, I believe that it's 1 in 1,000.
Okay, if it's 1 in 1,000 for the theistic hypothesis?
No, 1 in 1,000 that it occurred naturally.
Okay, fine. Let's just grant that. What's the probability? So give me the argument. Give me the probability of God doing it, and then give me the argument for why we should accept that probability.
Well, again, apart from just those numbers by themselves, if you take into other account into other effects about our universe and our DNA, the probability is much higher that there was a super intellect that created
Yeah,
us.
I want that probability. You have to know the probability, right, to know that it's higher than the other probability. So what is the probability, and give me support for that claim?
The problem with the number itself is it's unattainable. We cannot measure
Okay, so
that.
then how can you know it's more or less probable? If it's unattainable, you just contradicted yourself.
Again, it's a 50-50 shot. And
Give me the argument for that. Give me the argument for that probability, or give me the support for it.
Okay, again, Primrose from Oxford University was quoted as saying that these things occurring naturally is in the
My question is not give me support for why a naturalistic explanation is improbable. That is not the question. I want you to support the claim of a particular probability for the theistic explanation or hypothesis. I want that, but you don't have it. And if you don't have it, you can say it's more or less probable.
Again, if you'd let me finish, I'd further explain.
Well, don't bring up something irrelevant, or I'll cut you off.
I believe that it is relevant.
You get appealing to Penrose to support the naturalistic hypothesis is irrelevant to the question of what is the probability of the theistic hypothesis to explain the same phenomenon. You want to try again?
Again, bud. It's a 50-50 shot.
you're just making an assertion. You have no fucking clue. You have no fucking clue.
Still there?
Yeah.
Sorry, cut off there.
I don't think so. I heard your background. I don't think you have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think you know. And you said you cut out when I was hearing background noise, right?
I couldn't hear you, but anyways, if you don't want to believe it, that's on you. But
believe
again,
what? What am I rejecting?
The science behind it.
I'm not rejecting the science.
So then why are you rejecting the assertion that it would have to be 50-50 or not greater?
No. That's not no science. There is no scientific paper that you can appeal to that supports a particular probability of a theistic explanation. And let me tell you why, right? Because theism is empirically unfalsifiable. There is no probability value by which you can gather because it can't be empirically disproven, right? What kind of specific physical facts would undermine the theistic hypothesis? And that's your problem.
Well, at the same time, I could say the same thing with all this occurring naturally.
Well, I personally think that that these probability values, right? I mean, I don't know how they're constructed, but personally, yeah, I think that naturalism is unfalsifiable as well because it's a metaphysical hypothesis. So I don't know how they're getting these probabilities, but I granted it to you. And I should, even if they have a probability, the fact is that you can't say that the theistic hypothesis is more or less probable.
Well, again, if you were to take account into that as well as other factors, it would have to be higher than that alone.
Again, that's just a claim. You know the difference between a claim and supporting a claim, right?
Then how about we talk about the DNA structure of humans?
Okay, I'm fine with changing the subject, but you got some things to think about.
All right, so it takes about 2 billion lines of code with 25,000 engineers spread across the entire globe of super networks and computers to run Google.
Okay.
Right? And it takes about 3 billion unique letters in a combination in a side of a cell that lays less than a gram to run a far more complex system.
Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grant every physical fact to you. It's going to be the same problem. Like, why would we think that the theistic explanation isn't ad hoc or just a story?
Well, again, these things, it's hard for me to imagine that these things can occur naturally, especially whenever evolutionists and non-theistics have no explanation of where life began. How can something...
that's you just said it's hard to believe, right? Are you just arguing from your own incredulity?
And you would also argue that it's hard to believe that a God exists.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to use that as support from a claim. It's hard to believe, therefore God doesn't exist. That's no support. To say that it's hard to believe XYZ doesn't support that XYZ is false or even true or whatever. So I don't know why you're just, I don't know. This is not a therapy session. You don't have to tell me your psychology. Just give me the argument. Oh, go ahead.
Well, again, but you're asking me why I believe that God is true and why, why I believe that God exists. So I'm going to explain to you why I believe.
Yeah, look, I'm more interested in the justification. I'm not interested in your psychology or what you find to be intuitive or any of that shit, right? Not interested. I'm interested in an argument or support for the claim that God exists.
In what capacity?
I don't even understand your question. What do you mean? What capacity? I just told you the capacity of giving an argument or support, evidence, data, whatever. I mean, we've gone through two topics, DNA and, some kind of fine tuning stuff, right? So you can try to proceed with those arguments, but I've replied. Why do you do this long pause shit? Like, do you want to just come back, think about it and come back?
I'm just giving myself a time to think.
Okay, fair enough. Do you want to come back after you've thought?
Sure.
Okay, have a great day. To be honest, that's respectable. I'd rather him think about it than spew garbage. So we shouldn't be hard on those people that just want to think about it. We should be hard on people that just will say anything.
Hello, Danny.
What's up, Gavin?
All right, so God exists in the hearts and minds of all those that believe in him. How would you like to get me my $1 billion, sir?
But why would I believe what you're saying?
God exists in the hearts and minds of all those that believe in him. Their existence.
Okay, if you said it slowly, so I'll use my response. Yeah, you just repeated yourself slowly, so I will repeat myself slowly. Why would we believe that?
I don't care what you believe. God exists because they believe it. Therefore, he exists. He exists in them.
If you believe,
as long as they're around and there's belief, he exists.
So you're saying that if you believe that something exists, it exists?
Yes.
So
8 billion people in the world, at least half of them believe in God. That's 4 billion people. As long as they believe that God exists in their hearts and minds, that he does exist in their hearts and their mind and in their minds.
Yeah, this is interesting because you're combining like two fallacies into one, right? Number one, doesn't follow that if you believe X exists, X exists. And then it doesn't make it true that God exists because a lot of people believe that God exists. So you did a double, I would say, two.
Where would you like to put the money? Where would you like to put the money?
Where would I like to
put the money? My Cash App, I mean, $1 billion, man. Come on. Start tapping, man. I'm not even getting any love here. I just won the argument. I proved God's existence. You just don't like the way I proved it. So you lost. So where's my money?
Why would I give $1 billion or even a dime to someone that doesn't even know what an argument is?
Come on, man. You're just a sore loser. God exists in the hearts and minds of all those that believe in him. That's an existence.
Do you think that's an argument or a claim, Gavin?
That's an existence.
Yeah,
that's what that is. It's a fact.
Joker. Okay, I don't have a lot of confidence in this. Why, Mr. Flat Earth?
What's
all
up,
right.
man? What's going on, buddy? I know you remember me. Don't get scared. Don't run. Don't shake up now. Come on now.
I'm
ready?
running. I'm about to run, to be
Don't
honest.
run,
I'm
boy.
about to
Don't run. You ready? Let's work. Many in the field of science don't believe that there's a creator due to the fact that they can't study nor observe him. Why can't they? Through
They don't pay me enough to talk to those people. I don't get paid enough for you, man. Like my followers, they're cheap. That's not. I'm
What's
joking.
up?
Chat. That was a joke. It was a joke. Chat. Y'all are awesome, but y'all don't pay me enough for that kind of person. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up?
what's going on, man? Why should I believe in God?
Okay, yeah. So I'm not going to tell you to believe in God, basically. So I'm going to give you my point of view. I'm African. African people don't believe in Western religion of what they think of God. So I'm not going to tell you that God exists, but then in my culture and my belief, we have a source. We believe that we're all connected to each other by a divine source. Most people call it Allah. The Christians call it Jesus. The Hindus call him Buddha. You know, there's different names for it. But then we believe in a divine source that connects every single person there. So
Yeah, look,
the existence
I
to
do
characterize him as.
Yeah, 1 second. I do find the religious mode of thought interesting. I do value learning about religion, but this is not the space for it. This is the space for. So while I do find your perspective mildly interesting, this is not. You're in the wrong live if you don't want to like provide an argument. All right.
Okay. So basically, God exists. God exists because, like every atom that you have, your very existence, for example, comes from a source. Like again, I'm saying from my African religion, we believe that we were created by divine source. That's why we were put here.
Okay. Why?
Like
Why
for
should?
example,
Why
our
should anyone believe
civilization has
that?
because our civilization basically formed the modern day society into what it is right now, and that's a fact.
I don't really understand.
And that's a fact.
How does that get you to
I'm
God?
saying
Like,
our
okay,
civ-
I don't see how that gets you to God.
I'm not trying to get you to God. I'm trying to make
But
you
that's
understand
the
that there's a
purpose of this
source.
space. And you
They've
seem like
already
a nice guy, Jonathan. But I'm not. If you're not trying to give me a reason that people could like take as a reason for believing in God, then I think I'm going to go to the next person. All right, man. You seem like a nice guy, though. All right.
Okay, no problem. No
All
problem,
right.
man.
Okay.
No problem.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. You see, I can be nice. What's up, Blake? Is it Blake? Black. Okay. Why should I be
So
believe in God?
expanding on the other two guys' comments, in what capacity do you want the Christian God existence, or do you want what God actually
What?
is?
Well, just give me any. We can work with your conception of God more or less. I mean, I take it to be.
This is your conception. You just kicked two people out because they couldn't articulate what they wanted to tell you.
Okay.
So,
When I
in
tell
what capacity
someone,
do you want God?
if I were to go to Walmart and tell someone I don't believe in God, I think it would be this way. That there's no disembodied, all powerful, all good, all knowing creator being.
Right. There's no human entity, full form of God. No, there's not.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what you're kind of getting at. You're
No.
more leaning towards the Christian version of God. from
I'm
what
talking
I've
about like
heard so
something like
far.
the God of the philosophers, the perfect being, that kind of stuff.
There is no perfect being.
Okay,
but there
we
is an
agree, man.
eternal-
Appreciate your
There
request.
is an
All right,
eternal
no perfect
energy.
being. I'm moving on.
Hello.
What's up, Trixie?
So, so
Why should I believe in God, man?
do you believe the universe is eternal, or you believe it had a beginning?
I don't really take a position on that, but I don't know, but I lean towards eternality.
Okay, well, it's not eternal, because for the universe to be eternal, that would mean that it never had a beginning and it's never going to end. But yet the universe is a closed system. In this closed system, we have a thing called entropy. You know what that is?
Yeah. Well, okay, fine. I mean, I could
So,
be wrong about that. I'm not going to die on this hill. Let's just say the universe had a beginning.
Okay, yeah, Okay, yeah. So it had a beginning. So if that's the case, do you know what the law of causality is?
Well, are you trying to say that everything has a cause, or everything that begins
Everything
to
with the
exist
beginning
has
has
a
a
cause?
cause. Yeah, that's a law.
Okay, let's say that's true. Let's say everything that begins to exist has a cause.
Okay, so God will be that cause.
Why would I think that?
Because what else would be that cause?
You don't. So we don't know what else could
I
cause.
think it makes
before-
most logical sense for God to be that cause.
Why does it make most logical sense?
Because one, for humans exist. I believe because we have humans existing and we have consciousness, we have emotions, we can think, because we have all these type of similar connections to what a God will be. A God does the same thing. He has emotions, a
totally
consciousness, he
lost.
thinks.
I'm just totally
I believe
lost. Remember,
a God will
I don't know why we
Okay.
would think that the first cause or the cause of the universe would be a mind that's all powerful, all good, and all knowing. Why would we think that?
I didn't say all good. I just believe a creator.
Okay, fine. Why do you
Say that one
think
more
that's
time?
an intelligent explanation for the origin of the universe?
I was explaining, but you cut me off.
Yeah, but you start talking about human consciousness. What does that have to do with anything?
Can I? Yeah. Because it's a correlation. It's a
Why would it-
correlation as to why a God will create, because God is essentially the same as a human. It has a consciousness, it thinks, and it can do the same things a human can do, but it's all powerful. Right?
Okay,
So
so
since
there are
humans
fine.
exist,
I cause things, and I'm an intelligent being. God is supposedly cause things, and he's an intelligent being. But why would we
you
think?
didn't.
Go ahead.
What? Wait,
Go
what
ahead.
did you
Why
say?
would we think the first cause is intelligent? I understand that if the first cause was intelligent, that intelligence would be like us insofar it's intelligent. But that's not going to support the claim that that cause of the universe is intelligent.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm hitting a car as we speak, and I swear, like, my brain just went.
Okay,
Like, it just
well,
went fried.
I don't think you're supposed to be
I
on
just forgot my
while
entire
you're
argument.
driving anyway. So come back another time. All right.
I'm not driving. I said a cart.
Oh, I thought you said
All right.
car. Okay. So anyways, why would we think the first cause is
No.
intelligent again?
As I
Oh my gosh.
said, I'm hitting the cart, and my brain just went fried.
Okay, well, it's come back when it's unfried. I try to let the next person in. I try.
Clear them out. Clear them out.
Is it okay? That was probably good because Taliban was in his name. Come on, connect. Sorry, guys. This guy's trying to connect. I might just, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's what he meant, gravity. I thought he was talking about, look, you see how innocent I am? I thought he was talking about a shopping cart. But carts can also mean vape pens. So, you see, don't do drugs, kids. I'm waiting for the next person. They're trying to connect. Okay. What's up, Jai? Why should I believe in God?
Okay, well, let me ask you this in the presence. I didn't come to argue on your belief, nor will I argue in my belief. But in what construct do you want to understand? Are you saying why should you believe in God? Is that your question?
Why should anyone believe that God exists? Yeah, think of it.
No. Let's keep it at you without general debate, because I want to hold you as an intellectual. And I was going to tell you, can I ask you two questions?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Do you any way respect the evolution theory?
Yeah.
Do you any way respect the creation theory?
No.
Okay, so I'll be speaking from the creation theory and the basis that you understand the determination of the evolution. Okay.
But it
No,
seems
no,
like
no, no. I'm
evolution.
not coming. Hold on. This is your platform. This is your intellect, and this is your belief. I want to support your belief after I leave, and as I make an associate at TikTok with you. But
Well,
here's
look,
how
I need to point something out, right? There are people that believe that God created everything, or planned
Okay.
everything at least,
Well, let me.
and accept evolution.
Okay, well, let me give you the construct of how it become about. If you look at creation as a theory, okay, to evolution as a theory,
What do you mean by
This-
creation?
that let me. I was going to explain that God, the God that we're talking about, as the creator, a self-existing God, an omniscience God, and an omnipresent God, created all things that coexist.
Okay, that's compatible with evolution.
Okay, well, stay with the construct of what we're talking about. I'm not coming to argue because I'm not going to change your belief, nor are you going to change my belief, but you would help my belief. So if it's a line like that, the reason that you hear the creationists come, it comes out of the science of theology. And if you went to use ancient Egypt, when they studied all the sciences, it was through their construct that they.
I can't do it. It seems like a time waster. Hello, Mr. Hey, Mr. Cat. What do we disagree about?
I just came to say what's up, Danny. I missed you and you've been live for a while.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. I need to go live more.
I'll cash app you on Friday, all right, man? I'll give you $100.
No, don't do. I appreciate it, but don't rush, please. On Friday, that sounds like you don't have the money right now. If you don't have the money right now, you should probably keep it for yourself.
Payments on the card, bro, but cash app you 100 though.
Well, that's very sweet, but keep the money if you need it. All right. All right, and I can barely hear you, so I'm probably just let you go because I can't hear you. Okay, but you seem really nice. I appreciate the support. Okay, Shark, we talked before. I'm looking for people I haven't talked to, but what's up, man?
Hey man, so we can do the payments and however you want, but unfortunately, Danny, as you and I both know, all definitions are subjective, and for this context, I'm going to define God as the totality of existence. So however you want to do the payments, let me know.
Your check will be in the mail, Shark.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, you have a great one. Okay. Shark is nice. He's a friend. All right, Gavin. Is this a different Gavin? There are two Gavins. I hope it's not the same Gavin. Oh, you're having trouble connecting, Gavin, so I'm probably going to move on to the next person. All right, let's see. What's up, Tony? Why should I believe in God?
Yo, quick question.
Yeah, man.
You haven't died, right?
Yeah, I haven't died.
So you don't know, right?
I
Now,
don't know.
from a non-biased perspective, the atheists, if you guys are right, when we die, nothing happens.
I don't
It's
even
just-
think that's
it's
true.
just darkness.
There are atheists that believe that there are afterlives.
So is that what you believe?
No, but I'm just pointing out atheism doesn't entail that there's no afterlife.
Okay, so if you're right, when we die, nothing happens.
Well,
If
I
the
don't think anything's
believers,
gonna
if the
happen.
but if the believers are right, you know that you're fucked, right?
Isn't that true of? Are you a Christian or something, Tony?
No,
You know, you're.
I told you I'm coming
wait.
from a non-biased perspective.
Okay, are you a Muslim?
Yes.
Okay, so if Christianity is true, you're fucked, Tony.
It's not though.
Okay, well, guess what? Theism
But
is not true.
Danny, we're not here to talk about me. I'm talking about you.
You are talking
You
about
know
me. You tried to give an
if
argument.
if you're wrong, you would have wasted your entire life.
Yeah,
You know that, right?
that's true. If you're wrong, you would have wasted your entire life too.
No, because I'm dead. Nothing happens.
No,
it's just blackness.
If Christianity is true, that's not true.
What?
You're saying if Islam or something like it is true, I'm fucked. I'm saying if Christianity or something like that is true, then you're fucked. So we're both fucked on your account.
No, it doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
I'm
That was
sorry,
pretty
it
clear.
doesn't make sense to me.
Did you not say
All
that
I
if
know-
Islam or theism or some kind of version of theism like Islam is true, that I'm fucked? Did you not say that?
If you are wrong, Danny,
Wrong about what, Tony?
about God
Okay.
existing.
Okay, if you're wrong about Christianity, are you fucked?
I told you I was coming from
Yes,
a non-biased
I am.
perspective. Christians believe in God. Muslims believe in God. They believe
but
in a
Christians-
higher being.
look,
You
Yeah,
don't.
but look, maybe you have a really watered down sense of Christianity, but most Christians don't think that people like you go to heaven, Tony.
Okay.
Okay,
we
so
believe,
if they're right,
believe,
Tony,
but we believe
are
in God and we
fucked,
do good
Tony.
deeds based off of that belief. You don't believe in God at all.
Yeah, and
And when you die and you're wrong, you're screwed.
that's the
You would have
same.
wasted
I'm
your
fine with
entire
saying
life.
that if I'm fine with saying that if Christianity is true, I probably fucked. But that's going to be true of you too. Now there could be a God that punishes stupid people, so then that kind of God you would be fucked, right? So like,
You said could. That was the highlight of that sentence. You said
yeah,
could.
I'm just pointing out that you can invent any kind of God with any kind of psychology, and then you could fuck anybody in that hypothetical, including yourself.
Okay. Anytime I hop on an atheist's live, I just know that you guys are wasting your entire life. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know that. I know. Look, you're crying.
You have
you're
one.
like
You have one
complaining.
life,
I just want an argument.
and,
Do you have
and
an
you
argument?
decide to
Dude,
waste
Tony, do
what
you
happens
have
when you
an
die because you don't even
argument?
know.
Tony, do you have an argument for your position, or are you just asserting
I
stuff?
don't have an argument because nothing
All
I
right,
say or
thanks for
do will
coming
have
on,
you
Tony.
believe in
No
God.
argument, not interested. Holy cow. I like Tony, though, the name, because, I don't know, it's Tony. Hey, Benny. Tony and Benny now. Benny, why should I believe in God? Benny! No, I'm not talking to you, babe. I'm talking to TikTok. She thought I said baby. Benny! All right, bye, Benny. Hey, Mohammed, why should I believe in God, man?
Hi, Danny. Okay, so see, a subject prove God exists to win. I think that's $1 million or more than $1 million.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I'm not interested in a buck or two. I'm only trying to say to you that maybe the word God intimidates you or whatever it is, but can you come to common ground understanding with me that there is a higher power that's bigger than us all, that has brought everything into existence? Because if you look at our surrounding, the ocean, the fish in the ocean, humans, the functioning of the human body, 8 billion hearts are beating every second. There is something that's bigger than us as mankind. There has to be a higher power. Can you come to common grounds that there is a higher power?
Probably not, and I'm guessing what you mean by higher power, but no, I don't believe in, I would not say to anyone that I believe in a higher power. Just because things are complicated in nature doesn't mean that there's a higher power.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look, okay, you said, hold on to your words. You said just because things are complicated in nature doesn't mean there's a higher power. So clearly it could not have popped into existence, because if you see a Motorola cell phone on your table and you tell your wife, you know what, the Motorola cell phone popped on my table, she'll leave you. She'll say, this guy's crazy. You know, there's an origin, there's a source, there's a maker, there's a creator behind it, the Chinese manufacturer. And
Did you
it
say
didn't just
automobile? What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Okay, maybe the signal wasn't good. I said, if you wake up in the morning and you tell your wife, you know what, the Motorola cell phone popped on my table, she'll say you're crazy, because you know that there's an origin, there's a creator, Motorola cell phone.
Oh,
there's an origin.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
There was a,
There's an origin, there's a creator, there's a maker behind it. So you know you bought it from the store, but behind that store, it came from the Chinese manufacturer with the instruction guideline. So it didn't just come into existence. A cell phone is an amazing item, you know, computers, etc. So the human body is an amazing thing, you know, the functioning of the human body. So we couldn't have just popped into existence like that. What I'm saying is that there is a power that has created us and is in control of everything. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't use the word God with you because I think I understand a bit of your mindset. So what I'm saying is that there is a higher power that's bigger than us, mankind, that has brought us into existence, and is in control of everything. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So can you come to common ground with me that there is a higher power?
I think you and I disagree on how we come to design inferences. I don't look at a cell phone and think it's designed because it's complicated. I look at things like cell phones. Look, this, you see this? This is a very simple thing. This is a bookmark. Okay,
Okay.
very simple. But when I see it, you know, first of all, it's very simple. The phone is very complicated, but I think they're both designed. So simplicity and complexity are not indicators of design. What is?
But it didn't come into. It didn't just pop on your table.
Muhammad, I can tell you're excited. I get it. This is exciting. But 1 second, okay? I'm trying to get to our disagreement. Simple things, complicated things, they can both be designed. So then how do we come to a design inference? Okay, based on our background knowledge with the intelligence that we already believe in. So we see people create stuff like this, plastics, and we see factories produce iPhones and other electronic devices. So then we see those things, we think intelligence, right? But I don't see intelligent beings creating planets or solar systems or universes. You know, I don't see those kind of things, right? So then when I look at the universe or solar system, galaxy or whatever, I'm not going to come to the same inference. So go ahead.
Okay, I tried to cut you. Okay, so I heard you out. When you say that you see everything and you're not going to come to the understanding that there is a higher power that created it, but you can understand that your bookmark came from an origin because you can see the Chinese manufacturer, you can visit him, you can say, hey, how's it, you know? And basically, but now you cannot see the one who made the shark, you cannot see the one who made the ocean. So because you cannot see it, you are saying, you know what?
I'm not saying that we can't see it, right? I'm saying that we already know.
I believe, listen, I believe you can't see God. I believe in that, but I believe that there is a higher power. That's where you're rejecting a higher power, correct?
Yeah, but I'm pointing out that it's not because it's not that I can't see them, right? Or I can't see God, therefore he doesn't exist. It's that I already know about what humans want to do and the kinds of things they do, right? Such that when I see the kinds of things that fulfill their goals, like technology, it's humans and aliens, or not God, right? The point is that when you see like a cell phone, why don't you think that it's an alien that designed it? Why do you think it's a human? Why didn't you think that it's an angel, not an angel that designed the cell phone? Because your background knowledge determines what kind of intelligence brought it about. And I have zero background knowledge of a higher power, as you would say, of creating planets and solar systems and galaxies and all that stuff.
Okay, when you're saying you have zero knowledge, but I mean, you're a person, I'm a person, okay? Of course, you can't see my face, but you can hear my voice. You have a heart that's beating. If you look, just hold up, don't cut me off. You look around you, you have the ocean, you have the fish, you have the shark. If you know and I know that the cell phone didn't come into magical existence, there is an origin behind it. You know that there's an origin, there's a creator, there's a designer behind it. How did the ocean and how did the fish and how did everything come into existence? And how is the sun coming out every day and the moon and the rain? And I mean, Danny, you might be young, you might be strong, you might be healthy, but it could be in just 3 months' time, or it could be me. I'm young also. It could be me in 2 days' time. I just go to sleep, bang, I don't wake up the next morning. How did he die? Oh, the doctors say natural causes. But we believe the same power that brought me into existence is the same power that closed my heart from beating. So I might have been very healthy, I might have been very strong and everything going my way, but the power that is in control of everything determines my time of death, my date of entry and date of exit, like a loaf of bread. That's what we simply are.
You're bloviating a little bit, okay? I think look, I feel like you're repeating yourself.
What does that word mean? What does that word mean?
Bloviation, it's like you're saying a lot of things unnecessarily, okay?
Okay, no, it's not said. Okay, key point, my friend. What I'm trying to say to you is that I believe that the higher power is in control of everything and everyone. My life, my death, because how come a young person just dies and an old person gets to live? That's what I'm trying to say. The higher power is in control.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
A lot of what you said, you were repeating yourself. So I want you to reconstruct. I responded to a lot of what you said. What do you think my response is? I can repeat it for you. That's okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't believe in a higher power. Because you say that you cannot see the higher power, but you don't have much knowledge about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's your mindset.
Yeah. So look, that's the gist. But like, I use the example. 1 second. I had to close my door. 1 second.
No problem.
All right, sorry about that. So look, okay. So when we see a cell phone, you think that it's a human intelligence that did it, right? Oh, you're muted.
No, yeah. I just wanted to give you space to speak. I don't want to cut you. Yes, 100%. I know a human created it because
Now, what I was trying to say is that you don't think that it's an alien that did it,
no, of course not.
right? Because aliens are not in your background information and in your background knowledge such that you would think that it was an alien that designed that thing rather than a human. So if the idea is that good inferences to design, right, rely on your background information. So I have, just like you have no background information of aliens existing such that it would be a bad inference to say cell phone, therefore aliens, I have zero background information of God existing, creating things. So when I look at the ocean and rocks and the mountains and all that stuff and planets, it's a bad inference to think, therefore, a higher power or some superpower or whatever.
So how did it come into existence, my brother? I'm not fighting with you. I'm not boxing you. If you're rejecting a higher power, how did the ocean come into existence? How did the shark? How is all of this happening around us? The day into night, the night into day.
To me, this is a scientific question, not a theological one or philosophical one. I don't think what the question you just asked isn't a philosophical question.
Okay, can I just tell you one thing? We're talking about just in 30 seconds. As the cell phone has a creator and instruction manual, I believe in the Islamic faith. We've been placed in this world. We've been given life in this world with a code of conduct. We've been created by creator and we have a code of conduct, the Quran, the book of guidance for mankind. Now, with scientific facts, the sperm being a clot of blood clinging to the mother's womb, discovered by scientists to be a clot of blood. Hold up. Give me 10 seconds. Discovered to be a clot of blood only about, I think, 35 years ago. But it's always been in this powerful scripture, the Quran, which is memorized cover to cover by millions of people globally. So how could mankind, how could that be, how could we reject that book when it has to be a book of miracles? Because who could have known to put it inside that book? That's why we believe that it is the word of God. It's the final testament, came with the final messenger. So could you back me up and explain how could the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, have given that knowledge to mankind, and how could this have happened if you are rejecting the Quran and Islam? That's what I'm trying to ask you. Because that's just one scientific fact.
Two things. You're changing the subject, which is fine.
No, I'm not changing the subject. You just spoke about science. That's why I'm speaking about science. That's why.
Yeah, but originally we were talking about how do we know things are designed versus not designed, right?
Yeah, you spoke about science, about the ocean. So that's why I'm telling you that with my faith, it's not just faith, it's faith with knowledge and evidence that Islam is the truth.
Look,
but
I'm telling you, when you ask me how did the ocean come about, that question doesn't pertain whether God exists. It's a scientific question, of my understanding.
Okay, so what made the science? If you're saying there was a Big Bang, what ignited it? Nothing. 0 + 0 = 0. There has to be a power. There has to be an origin. There has to be something that ignited everything, my friend.
Why?
Who shaped you and designed you? Huh?
Why do you think there has to be do you think there's a cause to everything?
I'm trying to say to you, why do I think that there has to be a creator, a higher power? The reason why I think is because there's just too much beauty around us. Even you go to sleep right now, you feel your heart that's beating. How is this happening? You can say the cell structure, the DNA, you can come up with all the fancy words. How did it start in the beginning? How is it happening? How is it controlling? What determines whether you die as a youngster and an old person gets to live much longer than you, but you're 10 times stronger than him, but you just died?
Okay,
what is controlling all of this?
I don't know what you drank.
It sounds like in 10 seconds. Danny, in 10 seconds, that's why we believe that Islam is submission. We submit to the will of the creator. So I might plan to have a cup of coffee with you, but in the interim, I might die in a car accident, or I might get a phone call, family emergency. So it wasn't willed for me to meet you. That's why we believe everything is with the will of the higher power. We have limited strength.
Look, it sounds like you've drunk a Red Bull, Muhammad. So can we just...
No, I didn't drink the Red Bull, my brother. I only had a cup of tea, that's all.
Okay, yeah, that tea had a lot of caffeine. But look...
No. Normal caffeine, don't worry.
I know you're a Muslim. Muslims are not allowed to have caffeine, right?
No. We're allowed to have caffeine. What are you coming up with this funny stuff, my brother? You're putting all your crazy things out there. We're allowed to have caffeine. We're allowed to have caffeine. We're not allowed to have alcohol.
Can have caffeine. Am I thinking of a different religion?
Maybe you're thinking about a different religion. Caffeine, we're allowed to have caffeine. We're not allowed to have alcohol.
That's Mormons. Okay, sorry, I confused you with...
Okay, thank you to the person in the comments, right? God bless you. We're not allowed to have alcohol. No alcohol, no pork.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like in your case you need some alcohol, Muhammad. Okay. because
No,
you
no,
feel-
no. That's good. No. That's gonna make me like you, or maybe worse than you. I need you to learn from me, my brother. That you know what? Submission only to the power above. Simple. Danny, hear me out. We're all born in different homes, Danny. You seem like a genuine guy. Our parents educate us differently.
Okay.
So
look,
some people. So we have to
this
search
is
for
a
what
good
makes sense. What's the truth?
conversation, Muhammad, I find you really interesting in the sense that you're kind of cute, right? Like you're excited, you're passionate. I like it. But we got to have a conversation. All right. You've been saying a lot. So, okay, you asked me all these questions. How did this happen? How did that happen? How did this happen? How did that happen? If I say I don't know to any of those questions, that doesn't support your claim God exists or that Islam is true. So you're going to have to, I think you're going to have to slow down and give me a more carefully constructed argument than just asking, how did this happen?
Fair enough. We don't have all the answers because, like I said, we humans are limited. If I ask you, with our technology and our science and all our doctors and everything, how many fish there are in the ocean, or how many insects there are, we're going to be limited. We're going to be limited. We're not going to have the exact number because we are limited with knowledge. We are limited. But that's what my belief is, that the Creator is unlimited. The Creator knows how many fish there are in the ocean, how many insects there are, how many hearts are beating.
I know that. I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Okay,
and
let's talk about Islam, okay? Because I don't feel like we're gonna get anywhere with this stuff. Okay, can we talk about Islam?
no problem. I'm not a scholar, but the little information I have, I can share with you. Whatever I don't know, I'll tell you. I have to get back to you.
Do you know? Okay, fine. Do you know the doctrine of Tawheed?
Oh, I know where you're going with this now.
Okay.
So you know what? I'll make this easy. I'll make this easier. Listen to me. You tell me why you reject worshiping the Creator. Why you reject? I'm not saying Islam. Why you reject worshiping the power as one? And I'll tell you why I accept worshiping the power as one. It
Look, a
simplifies
lot of
everything.
people don't know, Muhammad. A lot of people don't know what Tawheed is. Okay, so let me, and you can correct me because I'm no scholar either. But this is how I understood Tawheed: that there are no distinctions in God. God is one. Is that right?
100% monotheism, Islam. Yes.
Okay, but it's not saying that there is one God. That's different. They're saying God is one, that there are no distinctions in God.
If you type in your phone or you write on a pen and paper, it's called Surah Ikhlas, Surahiklas, Surah Ikhlas. It's a chapter in the Quran explaining the definition of Allah. And if I can simplify the definition of God to give you the Islamic understanding, when we say we're worshipping Allah, Allah simply means the power that was always there without the beginning. It's there now and will always be there.
Look,
Nothing benefits.
I think you need to answer my questions yes or no, right? Do you believe that there are distinctions in God?
What do you mean distinctions? There are many attributes in the sense that God is the all-powerful, the all-hearing, the all-seeing, the all-knowledgeable. He is the greatest. There's no images, there's no idols.
But Tawheed says that God is one. There are no distinctions in God.
I'm not sure what you're trying to get at, but I'm trying to tell you that God is one, 100%. It's one power. I'm not getting what you're trying to get at.
Okay, explain to me what you mean by Tawheed.
Sorry, say that again.
Explain to me what you mean by Tawheed in 2 sentences, if you can.
Strict monotheism, we're worshipping the power as one alone.
I think you need to do research. Tawheed doesn't mean there is one God. Tawheed is the idea that God is one, meaning that there are no distinctions in God.
So what's your point? What are you getting at? I'm not Christian. We love all the messengers, but we worship the Creator as one. We cannot see the Creator.
That if there are no distinctions in God, then God can't have separate attributes. The attributes are going to be all one and the same, and so you get some kind of logical nonsense, right? That God's omnipotence is his omniscience is his power, and that doesn't make any sense.
When you have a boss officer, when you have someone who's in control of everything, I'm trying to find the right words to explain to you. We cannot say how powerful the Creator is. We cannot say that he can only watch the people of America or watch the people of Russia and doesn't know what's going on in other parts of the world. We are limited, like I said to you, but the Creator is unlimited with knowledge. When we're saying the Creator has all the knowledge, sees everything, we're not saying the Creator has eyes. No. When I say I worship Allah, Allah means the power is one. No images, no idols, no objects. I'm simply saying the power that has made everything and everyone, help me, guide me, forgive me. That's what all of us, when we're praying, when we're saying, Allah help us, we are calling upon the power as one. No images. So if you're trying to get about the point about eyes or hands, No. We don't believe in God being in a human suit or anything of that sort.
Is God to any extent like his creation?
Allah is the all-powerful, the greatest, in the sense that if you read Surah Ikhlas, nothing can be compared to Allah. Read this chapter, Surah Ikhlas.
Okay. So nothing can be compared to Allah. Is that what you're saying?
100%. Read the chapter, Surah Ikhlas.
So I think you can make a comparison. Allah has a will, I have a will. That's a comparison.
But you can't compare your will with Allah's will. If I told you, okay, hold up, don't cut me off. Let me calm down. If I plan to have a cup of coffee with you, and at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and 2 o'clock, I get a phone call, not even I get a phone call and something else comes my way. And I promised you that we're going to go for a cup of coffee. And I automatically go for a family emergency. So it wasn't willed for me to have that cup of coffee with you at 5 o'clock. That's what I'm trying to say. So we make plans, but the creator is the best of planners. Because I got a sudden family emergency call where I had to leave. I had to go help someone who was maybe dying or something.
The point is that we have something in common, right?
What are you trying to say?
You're saying you're saying that there's no similarity between God and his creation, but they have something in common, right? That I have a will, God has a will. That's something God and I have in common, or Allah and I have in common, and so it undermines your view.
No, we have choice. We have choice. If you're having a cup of coffee with me and I smack you on the head and I say no, it was willed, you're gonna hit me back and you're gonna say, Muhammad, you're crazy, because I have choice. Right, but if it executes it, and if that went through and me and you got into a fight, it was willed. But like I said to you, maybe I didn't even get a chance to have a coffee with you. I got diverted. So we make plans, but the creator is the best of planners. So you can see people always making plans get cut off. That's why we believe that submission is to the higher power. The one who made us is the same one who give us life again in order to judge us. There's a verse in the Quran which I don't have off my mind right now, which chapter it is, but Allah says something to the effect that you will be brought back right till your fingertips.
I don't. So, what do you think I'm saying?
I think you are trying to say that God is similar to us when you're talking about will. When you're talking about, like, you saying similarity between the creator and us.
Yeah,
and I am denying that.
Is there any similarity between me and God?
No, my friend.
Okay, so is God an agent?
When you say agent, I'm not understanding what you mean agent. I'm saying the power is the greatest, the highest power, the one who made us all.
Is God an entity that acts on the basis of reasons?
Allah is the creator, is the most just and the most powerful. Nothing can be compared to the creator.
Yeah, my question is, does God have a reason for what he does?
God knows best. He does what is best for he does what is best. Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking, Muhammad. I'm asking, does God have reasons for what he does?
God knows what is best. He knows what is best, and he has his reasons. I cannot question God that why you made me born into this country with this language.
Muhammad, it's okay to say you don't know.
No, if you're saying why can't I question God that why did you make me the skin color, or why didn't you make me?
When God acts, when God does something, does he do it for a reason?
He created mankind to worship the creator.
Okay, so God acts on the basis of reasons, right?
I'm not sure what you're getting at with that, but we have been created with a purpose. The purpose of life is to worship the creator.
Yeah, so we agree. Look, do you know what it means to do something for a reason? Like, I would
you have
say
a purpose. You eat food because you're hungry.
God,
you go to the toilet because you need to relieve yourself.
That's fine. I'll use your terminology. When God acts, he does it purposefully, right? That's what I mean.
It created us for a purpose, exactly, a purpose. We are here for a purpose. The purpose of life is to worship the creator.
The point is that God is guided by his reasons. He's guided by purpose. I am guided by reasons and purpose as well. So we're both, that's what I mean by agent. Okay, so God is an agent. I am an agent. That's a similarity.
I disagree when you're comparing yourself to the creator.
So God is not an agent, Muhammad?
I disagree when you're saying God is an agent. What are you trying to get at?
So if God is not an agent, he's more like a robot.
No, he's not like a robot, my friend. A robot is programmed.
Okay, so then God is an agent.
Understand something, my friend. When you're saying God is an agent, whatever you're trying to say is that
I'm saying that when God acts, when God behaves, he's guided by his reasons or his purposes.
Simple, one sentence. No Red Bull in me. You write an exam, a test in school. You pass or you fail. We are all writing an exam in this world.
I can't do it. I'm gonna move on to the next person. You're being a little, you're bloviating, you're not being direct with me. I'm just gonna move on. Okay. What's up, Benny?
Yes, what's up?
Hey, why should I believe in God, man?
Because he created us.
All right.
I'm going.
All right. That great argument. I'm moving on. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like dealing with that. What's up, Jake? Why should I believe in God?
Hey, what's up, bro? Honestly, I've been laughing through this whole conversation, but just for your info, I come from a Christian background. That's my religion. I can't force you to believe in God. No one.
I
can.
want you to force me, Jake.
Well, I'll try to convince you. That's my goal. But
Would it be good if I was forced to be a Christian?
well, no, we're not going to be. I'm not going to force you to.
But look, if
make it.
hell is at stake, I want to be forced to be a Christian.
Well, that's why we're having this conversation, because I'm trying my best to like help you. I'm trying to convince you.
But if you can force me to believe, right, I want you to do it. Go ahead.
All right, bet. So I think the first problem is that trying to understand the nature of God, who he is, we think in a very limited mindset. When the truth is that God is, to begin with, infinite, eternal, and unchangeable. So there's already a scale that we can't comprehend. There's no timeline to begin with. And then another thing is that he never changes. He just is. In fact, when he revealed himself, that's how he described his name. I am. Basically, he is. So he's this singularity, this infinite singularity that's unchangeable and all powerful.
Okay.
So when I say he's infinite, eternal, and unchangeable, I'm referring to his being, and then I'm also referring to his wisdom. I'm also referring to his power, his holiness, and we'll touch on what holiness means.
Well, we don't need to, look, you don't need to, I don't think you need to give an exhaustive account of your concept of God. We can just use the traditional monotheistic conception that God is at least a mind without a body and is maximally powerful, good, and knowledgeable. We'll just work with that. Now, why do you believe in such a thing?
Well, God is a spirit. He reveals himself in the word spirit, which means he's not made of matter. So
yeah,
that's
I'm
something.
fine with that. Yeah,
and that
why
means
do you believe in such a thing?
Why do I believe in such a thing?
Yeah.
Well, because I look at the world around me, and we all, as humans, ask the question why. We all philosophically ask the question why for any of this. And one issue that begins to arise is has this always been here? And atheists agree that there was some sort of beginning regarding the Big Bang, because mathematically, time had to have a beginning, or else we would have never arrived at this point. Because if time is infinite, we would have never arrived at this point.
Yeah, I don't agree with that argument. I don't think that's a very good argument, but let's just pretend that the universe had a beginning.
And it did.
Okay. And why would you think that the cause is an all-powerful, all-good, all-knowing, disembodied mind?
Well, we look at this universe, and just even the human body alone. I understand. I was here for the conversation when we were talking about complexity doesn't necessarily mean there's a God, because we look at the entire universe and we look at every single individual thing. We can always break it down, and there's a multiplex system that's just endless. We can split atoms to a lower level, and then we get into whatever they call, I guess, the whole string theory thing. But my point is, we look at this and it exists, so it had to come from somewhere. I mean, Newton's law, it
But
doesn't.
I'm fine with granting that there's a cause of the universe. I think
let's go with
I'm
yeah, let's go with
granting
that.
that. Now I'm wondering why you think that cause is an all-powerful, all-good, all-knowing mind.
Well, because if everything in the universe exists and it have to come from something that's greater, so that's why I
would you think
believe that.
that? And I don't
Well,
even know what you mean by greater, like less complex, more complex. What do you mean?
well, God in the sense is not complicated like we are, but he can't be comprehended because he's infinite.
Well, you can. I don't see. Well, number one, I think mathematicians understand what infinity is just fine. I don't think there's anything that's spooky about infinite sets and stuff like that.
Well, infinity is a complicated topic because when I say God is infinite, I might as well say that God is the greatest infinite, because when we get into infinities, mathematically, there's been proven that there are greater infinities than others.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's where
different
it gets,
sizes of infinity, but that just undermines that infinity can't be comprehended. That's not true, right? In fact, you just you just admitted that mathematicians know about infinite sets to a point where like they're different sizes of infinities. We know that infinite sets or infinities have no beginning or no end or both. Okay, we know that you know if you subtract something from an infinite set, you still have infinity. Stuff like that. So we comprehend them just fine. I don't. But I'm trying to see. I'm trying to piece together why you would think that the cause of the expansion of the universe has to be God. I just don't get it.
so let's, I can't necessarily use the things that God created in order to prove the God's, let's say, physical existence, because one, to begin with, he's not matter, and he's not made up of the things that he created himself.
Is that just a fancy way of saying that you don't have an argument for why we should think that that cause is God?
Well, I believe that the cause is God because he's revealed it that way.
Why do you think he revealed it that way?
Because as he's revealed himself that he wants to build a relationship with us, he wants to
How do you
dwell
know
with
he
us,
revealed that?
because he did, and then we have those who've written it down and passed it along.
Okay, but it's obviously not true that if someone wrote it down, therefore it's true. So you got to give me something better than that.
Well, I get that, but let's go. Can you refresh me on what the original
So you
question
said
was?
that God revealed it to you that he's the cause of everything, or at least the universe. Okay, and I'm asking how you know that, and you basically said because it was written down.
All right, let's scratch that for a second.
Okay.
Because now that I see the whole train, I can understand why I stirred up some confusion. Let's just scratch that for a second. So if there is a God and he did create everything, that means everything in creation can't necessarily define what he is. We can get some concepts or ideas of what he is because it reflects what he is. And this is where it gets complicated.
The question is this, and Hoagie, thanks for the subscription for 2 months. It's great. I'm going to take over the world with all the money that y'all give me, guys. So be careful how much you give. Jake, the issue is that you think the cause of the universe is God. I'm wondering how you know that.
Through reasoning.
Okay, what reasons do you have? What I'm interested. What are these reasons?
Okay, so what has been I'm not gonna just rely on the Bible here, because I have my own opinions regarding the Bible, even though I consider myself a Christian, or at least I identify as that.
That's
so
fine.
people
So just go ahead and
understand.
give me the reasons, right? Let's speed this up because there are people waiting.
All right, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I think before I speak, so I don't confuse anything.
Okay, well, if you need to think about it, you can always come back.
Oh, we're good. I'll try speeding it up. Okay. So in the Bible, it describes all these things I just mentioned regarding the nature of God or who he is. And if you use reasoning, that kind of makes sense how things have come about, especially regarding.
Yeah, but what are the reasons?
Okay, well, I was using infinity as an example, right? The concept of infinity.
What about
Well,
it?
it talks about God being the author of everything. So God himself is the author of the concept infinity.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. You want to say that God is the cause of the universe. I want to say, basically, I want you, I don't know who sent that. No, thanks, Eamon. Thanks for the galaxy. That's awesome. Here, let me help you. God is the first cause, or God is the cause of the universe because, and then fill in the blank.
Well, he spoke,
So you're saying, well, okay,
but not
but
the
you
way we
understand that this
think.
doesn't get us anywhere, right? If you say God is the cause of the universe because he said it, what am I going to ask now?
Well, no. Let's back up. Not when I say spoke, I don't mean that someone wrote it down. What I'm saying is that what is written down describes it as that he spoke everything into existence.
Why should we believe what's being written down? Because you only know, or
Well,
you want to
according
say
to
that.
science, well, this is where it's really interesting because I'm studying sound that's my major.
Oh,
But anyway,
your major is sound.
Audio engineering.
Okay.
That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, no worries. Besides the point, everything in the universe, and I'm not trying to get trippy here, but everything in the universe is made up of 3 elements, and Tesla.
No, this seems to be a digression.
No. I'm getting to the point. I'm trying to narrow it down.
I'm trusting you, Jake. I'm trusting you. Go ahead.
All right, so 3 things. It's energy, vibration, and frequency, and it's like this simultaneous movement that all works together that makes things exist. And what's really interesting is that when the universe began, the Bible describes it as God spoke, which if you speak, that requires all 3 things. So that kind of makes sense why it would use the language God spoke for humans in the early centuries to even begin to understand.
Okay, I'm just not following, right?
Okay.
You're saying that God is the cause of the universe because what exactly?
Well, the Bible, Genesis describes. I'll just use the Genesis account. It describes it that he spoke, but I forget the term. But you know, the same way we raise our voices to speak to our children, so they can understand. Whatever that term is, that's what God's doing for us, or especially the first, or whatever century Jew that would have had Genesis, to understand these complicated scientific multiplex.
I don't get it, Jake. I don't get it. So you're saying God caused the universe because the Bible says something about God speaking things into existence? That's what I put it. That's all I have.
It describes that God spoke everything into existence.
Why should we think that? Okay, let's just start.
But we know God himself describes himself not having a mouth. The point is he's using certain language for us to understand.
Okay, but why should we accept what Genesis says about the origin of the universe or whatever?
Well, I'm not trying to convince you just through Genesis that.
Well, that's what you're appealing to.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that science regarding just sound in general, I'm just using the concept of sound, reflects true to what Genesis is saying.
I don't even know how to respond, Jake. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm trying my best here.
I mean, like, I don't even.
What part are we not understand? Can we?
It sounds like you're saying that there's an analogy between sound, because sound, you said frequency, vibration, and something else, and
energy, vibration, and frequency. They simultaneously work. I don't know quantum physics, but they simultaneously work.
What does it have to do with Genesis? I mean, if you say that, okay, God, what does that have to do with me believing, or anyone believing, that Jesus caused the universe?
Okay. That's okay. Let's just say God. Okay, let's not bring Jesus into this, because that's when we get into theological issues with the Trinity. I don't want to even.
I think that is the least of your problems right now, the Trinity.
Yeah, well, let's not even dive into that. All right.
How about you, Jake? How about you think about it, man, and come back?
No. Because
Look,
I'm going
doing
back
you
to
a
what
favor.
I'm going back to what we at least agreed on, and
Okay.
believe that there was a cause.
Okay, I granted that. I granted that the universe was caused. Now I want an argument or some kind of justification for why God is the cause.
Well,
Hey
it
Parker,
only
nice to
makes
see you,
sense.
man.
It would only make sense if it came from an infinite singularity that is eternal and outside of time and unchangeable.
Yeah, well, I would be that the cause has those properties.
Because everything else came out of that.
Came out of no, but well, I'm wondering. Okay, well, let's just make it easier. Why do you think the cause of the universe has to be eternal?
Well, here's the again with time. Time had to have some sort of beginning, and
I don't think so. Why? You can have the
because
first moment of time. If that is that what you mean?
yeah. Well, okay. So I was using the mathematics earlier as an example. Mathematics has proven if time is infinite and didn't have some sort of beginning, then we currently on that timeline, we would never even reach this moment because it's just traveling through.
Look. If the universe began to exist, there's a moment where it began to exist. Do you think there's a moment before that one?
No.
Okay, so if the universe is in the first moment and there's no moment before it, there can't be a cause because
There's
the
no-
cause is before the effect.
Okay. I see what you're trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is before there is a moment in time where time began. And that's
No. Moments and time are different. There's
correct.
moments
And I'm trying
of
to say
time.
that God is the author of that. So there was a start for that.
What is he the author of? Time itself?
Well, he's the author of everything.
Yeah.
even
So
for
it sounds like
concepts
if
that
you're
we
saying,
try to
look, this doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
If God created time, that means God's creative act or intention is before time, right?
Well, he's not in time, as we
But the point
understand.
is that God's intentions are before time, right?
God's
It can't be
intentions.
after time. It can't be during.
Well, what are you referring to God's intentions?
Well, he intended to create, right?
We just know he did.
Okay, fine. He
That's
intended
different.
to create at some point under your view.
And that's when he created time. Yeah.
Okay, that has to be before the effect of what he wants to create, right?
If I'm following correctly.
Yes, right? So if the effect is time, then you have something before time. But the notion of before and after depend on the notion of time. So you can't have before time. So God, it doesn't make sense for God to create time.
Well, God,
If
God,
he's timeless.
yeah, he's outside of time. He's not bound by.
Right.
any
I'm
sort of-
pointing out that if your God exists outside of time, he can't be a cause because causes are before effects. And it gets especially worse if you think the effect is time.
Okay. I think I'm following what you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the same page with you because
Look, I'm gonna look. So there's some Christians that I know that think that God is in time. Okay, so there's a very good philosopher. He's I love him to death. His name is Dr. Ryan Mullins. He wrote a book, I think called "The Death of the Timeless God," and he gives arguments for why God. It doesn't make sense to say God is outside of time for a lot of reasons. So maybe look into that. There's some great YouTube videos on it that he does about that. And we can talk about it later.
Yeah. Is it okay if I can correct myself on one thing?
Of course.
Okay, so when I say God is outside of time, I'm not saying it's really hard to explain. God is in time. God is currently in time. He's here with us even now, but he's not bound by time. He's not bound by the things that he made. He's not bound by the concepts that we try to understand, like infinity.
Well, that's something, but that's a separate concern. The issue is that a timeless thing can't be a cause because causation relies on time.
A timeless thing can't be a cause.
Right. Because the notion of cause is before the effect. And so if a timeless thing causes something else, then it's got to be something in time. Can't be timeless.
Okay, but if God is the way I described him, infinite, eternal, and unchangeable in his power, like his power, then is he not able to create time and a single point in time create time?
I'm saying there's a logical problem with saying some XYZ creates time. You know, because again, XYZ would have to be before time. And that doesn't, before and after are notions that they're temporal notions in this context.
Okay, so I'm thinking, this is so, I wish I was better educated in mathematics, but.
Well, look, I gave you some homework. Why don't you look at, there are two books that you need to look at. One defends the timeless God, one defends the God in time. Dr. Ryan Mullins defends the God in time. There's a book called Time and Eternity by William Lane Craig. Why don't you just do some research and then come back, all right? Because otherwise, I need to go soon.
All right, but
all right.
Can we? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Could you just give me like 5 more minutes?
No.
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 All right.
Have a good one.
Okay. You have a good day.
Bye. Yeah, and that's partly because I'm leaving now. I have to go to the store with my wife. I'll let Lydia in because she's a friend. I didn't know what's up. I always let friends in. What's up, Lydia?
Oh my God, I didn't know I requested. My bad.
Okay, I was making sure everything was okay.
No, yeah, I'm good. Just
Okay,
watching.
nice to see you though.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, see you. Bye. All right. Okay, guys, gotta go. I might go live later, might not. You know me, I don't plan for things, but I like the idea of going live later.